and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am.
So hello there everyone, and welcome to another video with me. Boy, that's a biggie, where I want to again talk about this beautiful topic of divine unions and the sacred partnership and what's happening currently at this time, in this time frame. For those of you who might resonate with this, of course, because it's not happening globally, although it is happening to a particular group of people who have been on this path for quite a while, perhaps for many years and years. So there's been a lot of patience on this journey. I've shared recently quite a few topics in matter of how to align better with this understanding of embodying twin soul consciousness through the twin soul or the primary source mirroring concept or design and creation and all life, of course. In this video, I want to talk about these kind of like last steps of preparations and what's happening. So the first thing I want to share is this beautiful experience I had, because just as I was returning from that bike trip where I actually recorded the video on embodying twin soul consciousness, I was sitting on this bench which overlooks at this whole opening, you know, towards the Italian side of the Alps. And all of a sudden I look up the sky, and the whole sky was so big I barely, you know, could capture on camera because the scope was so vast. And it was the scenery of almost like number twos, you know, turn against each other, looking towards each other. They were like embracing themselves and creating a heart-shaped formation, which looks like the two swans that sometimes are accompanying on these Two of Cups cards or oracles in tarot, or, you know, other oracles. So it was this beautiful scenery, and I shared the image with you on Instagram and Facebook. And although someone has shared, well, these messages are sometimes always just for you and what you see and interpret, but nah, I don't really think so all the time. It's like that. I really know my spirit guidance when it's something that's just for me and when it's something I'm meant to share. I just know it in my heart. So sometimes, you know, in the sky, when the messages are so vast, because they do represent somehow a collective consciousness, you know, weather patterns do that. It has this feeling of something that's happening at the larger level, this union journey, okay? So I want to talk about this because the next day I usually do my morning oracles, and if you are a part of my Instagram community, I many times do these Instagram messages stories. So I do kind of like mini readings on Instagram via stories. If you don't follow me there, please do that. I have a private profile now with, you know, all this talking and everything. So just ask me to join in and you can participate there. And it's a very spontaneous sharing always. So the next day, which was today, I take my oracle cards. It was Star Tarot cards, and one of the cards jumps out, and it's the Lover's card. And then I open the deck, I turn to the next card, and it's instantly the Temperance card, and it falls out. Okay, Temperance card. And then I said I'm going to pull one more, and it was the Two of Cups. And I've never had such a powerful reading before. All of these three main cards that do talk about divine union coming together in a divine trinity, forming a divine triad of messages, of oracles. And like, wait a minute, what is this about? Because instantly I started to laugh. It was this expansive feeling in my heart, this feeling of happiness, of feeling really blissful about what's taking place here with the messages, not always just being, you know, like something to interpret, but at the essence level, the feeling that was coming through was very beautiful, very divine. So as you know, the Temperance card, it represents this complete balance of the masculine and feminine. You have this being who's, you know, overflowing the two cups. But behind this oracle was also two paths, silver and gold, which again is that it's like this spinal cord alignment, which you have the two helixes that are intertwining, which are creating a unified DNA formation, which is the unified polarity. This is the integration path of divine union, which is illumined union. So with the Lovers, as you know, lovers can represent duality just as well. It can represent coming together. Sorry about that. So on a soul level, it can either represent coming together or coming apart. So that's that primary source choice to make, to experience polarity through duality, and then to come back once again through understanding the mirroring of the twin soul consciousness through the original source program, okay, that design of life and creation. So then the next, which is the Two of Cups, is that union. It's that actual coming together. It's that mirroring experience. It's the divine mirror, the mirror of the ultimate, which represents you in all aspects of being human, the friendship, the unconditional love, acceptance, embracing each other or one another. And I've talked about in the previous video how that has to overflow for all, not just between two people, because the truth of the twin soul consciousness is it overflows and it actually supersedes all these previous limited beliefs. You know, it goes out and feeds, let's say, even many groups of people or the communities or even all of humanity, those that are susceptible to that level of divine love integration. So it was a really powerful formation of cards, and it was that balanced, integrated union that's now ready to come together. As you know, in July we're going to have eclipses and for me it's very beautiful because again they're happening, and we're also going to have Mercury going retrograde, and I think it's going in the 23rd degree of Leo, which is my degree of Venus and Mars in conjunction. And last year I've talked about the royal eclipses. I think it was in August, and it's kind of like it's what we have integrated from that timestamp or time point on. It's coming up front now, and it's taking us to the fall. It's taking us into the fall months where there's going to be like this huge integration and an opening. And as always, for every individual, for where you are on your journey on this path, it's gonna unfold differently. It's gonna unfold with unique gifts just for you and how it's meant to play out in your own life and your own soul journey. But it's really coming through as a powerful message. So that's the first thing I'm called to share. If you have been getting intensified message of this on your own path, sometimes our mind interprets them as, wow, something's going to happen in the physical. Well, the message that I received today through these oracles was that, you know, this integration that was first and foremost a spiritual integration in the body is complete, because these cards have denoted this integrated union. This it's complete. That's what I felt now. It's almost like we've manifested it, we've created it as a template. The template is built, it's created. If you feel that in your heart, it's resonating, then it's truth. But for those of you who really feel this is my path, you know, I've been doing this for many years, it's almost like this last push before it gets really beautiful, or before something really comes into, you know, it's almost like you last few miles before the finish line, you know. And it's not about finishing things, it's like cycles intertwine. But it felt really like it's all about just when and where, and the circumstances for each individuals or the coupled informations when these things occur. And as you know, I've been talking about this not from the perspective of what people call twin flames, but the integrated consciousness of what I call the twin soul consciousness, which is the template of divine lovers who embody divine love, who are the missionaries here on this planet, that we embody and demonstrate divine love in all qualities and all essences. So just today I was talking to someone who actually sometimes occasionally asks me for help. He shares his stories because he has this complex life situations, you know, and with the custody and all of that. And he was just sharing with me, and sometimes I can't, you know, be with everyone and give them, you know, consolation and all this, but I do my best every time. And, you know, I just believe in that spirit of humanity that, you know, when you're being asked, you can at least give a little, if you can't always give too much. So sometimes people don't give anything or don't share anything because they think, you know, wouldn't be of any benefit or whatever. But if little per little you persist in that demonstration of love, people will feel it. People will start shifting, because it's your essence that goes into that, you know, into that giving, into that sharing. Not like it's made because you want to be kind. Kindness is the result. It is natural. It's organic because of you giving through love. And then the person was just so thankful. They were saying to me how kind I am, that I'm a kind soul. And I felt like it's not that I do it out of kindness, but like I said, it's a byproduct. It's a result that comes naturally to those of us who demonstrate divine love. So for me, this has always been about consciousness. And whether you do it alone or a partnership, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change. What changes in the partnership is the formation of the way we do the mission service here. It's after I came home, from my retreat in nature, I got this message. It was about the lineage of the Magdalene. And as you know, the story of the Magdalene and the Jeshua in the ancient times, you know, she was meant to continue the mission, and a huge part of it alone there in the south of France. So all of a sudden, and I feel very strong resonance with that place, just as with many places. I feel like a few homes on this planet, even though right now I'm currently here, you feel simultaneously you're living like parallel realities with like different rooted homes. And one of them for me is definitely the south of France. One of them is Greece. You know, I have these, one of them is in Italy. So I have these sensations, and the message was that because that story was seated there, and I've talked about the avatars of illumined union, and in that age of the Piscean age, they have set up this formation, Magdalene and Jeshua, as a template. Watch that video if you haven't seen it before, because it's very important for us to first integrate those archetypes within ourselves of this Christed union. But as you know, we're not yet in the Aquarian age, although people say we are, we're not, you know. And in one of the books I've read, it's about approximately 2100. So it's, yeah, it's something like that. So we're kind of like a few years or more away from that, looking at it from the greater cycles. But coming towards the end of this age that was seeded through the Christed illumined union of those two beautiful beings, I was shown that this seeks fulfillment now. This wants to be fulfilled through the souls who are living in their DNA lineage, this Jeshua Magdalene path. That's why so many people think they're actually Jesus, or so many women think they're actually the embodiment of Magdalene. It's the spirit of that. It's the spirit of that path, which is this Christed union of divine lovers. And I've shared before why this is so important, because it was seeded for a purpose, and it didn't come into full fruition at that time. As you know, these were dark times. Now they are too, only in different ways. But now this is coming through so much in mass that it can be pulled out. It can be rooted out of the human experience anymore, because it's happening so much in mass. So each union truly born of such love, of true love, of honoring each other to that respect, you know. And one of the, in the psychic reading I had with a woman that really helped me at that time, you know, when I was really being stalked and harassed by the dark side, how to even call it. She said to me that she feels like this union of almost like Isis and Osiris, this deep recognition and this deep respect and honoring of each other and the paths and the mission that becomes then a combined mission. And this has always been in my heart. That's why for me, a normal relationship was always out of the picture. You know, it's like, it has no purpose. It's like, it doesn't function that way. It requires two beings who have created the state of balance in their own flame of illumination. They have embodied it so they can become it. So in this last part, what I want to share with you is what are some of the last aspects that maybe we haven't yet surrendered, or some of the challenges we may be still having, into totally accepting that, because all of our body needs to accept that. So if we are all carriers of that seed which was planted, we are all the gestation of that seed that occurred around 0, right? No, yeah, let's say 0 or a little after BC, and then you have the after, right? After the Christed existence on the planet, okay? I don't know sometimes how to call these things, sorry. So we also all have this mission of integration of all these dark experiences, all that was placed upon humanity to transcend that and to just create this blank slate. And I've talked about this before. So as you know, the feeling side of life, the feeling level is that what they knew in the ancient times as the emotional body, they call it astral body many times, and all of the life experiences, all the knowledge of what we call past lives, or you know, different lifetimes, are stored within it. So the more we bring that essence of the emotional body, which kind of goes out of our embodiment through trauma and immense pain, so we're kind of calling it back. And this is what we do with ensoulment process, or the soul embodiment process. So as you know, in many ages, in many centuries, what they were doing is they were torturing people. They were inflicting immense pain and trauma on people, because somehow the dark side has been guiding them. So this experience of this divine love could be taken out, because the feeling side of life was so traumatized, okay? So this, imagine these traumas create this kind of like a jumping out of this emotional body, and we can't feel, we become desensitized. So that's why pain and torture was so popular in that time, so that people wouldn't bring these gifts and knowledge of all these pastimes and lineages, even, you know, going back to the times that people had immense capabilities and powers, and being of the priesthood, and you know, much more then was lost through this the fall of consciousness of humankind, and so on and so forth. So with us sensualizing ourselves again, and this is why I always repeat the same thing, that's why life force mastery is crucial, it is key. I think 2 years ago in the summer I recorded a video, Yoga for Beloved Union. If you don't know how to find it, just type it in YouTube, in the box. It is about what really physically needs to be done in our body so we can receive this union physically as well. So let's say in the spirit we embrace the beloved, then we work on the heart. But I've talked about recently the root portal. The root portal is the base of your living foundation of our physical existence. So if the root portal does not accept this union, it won't happen, because all these 3 levels have to align. Again, I'm talking about illumined union. I'm not talking just about any kind of partnership. I'm talking about the level of Jeshua and Magdalene, okay? This ultimate, this partnership that dealt with dealing with immense tantric energy to create templates, to heal many planetary structures, to assist the planet, which much greater involvement that you just do with ordinary relationships where your focus is just feeling good, create your family, these things. I'm talking about this higher path, and you know, this book, the manuscript of Magdalene, okay, I've shared it with you in that video, so go check that out. It was, I think, 2 years ago in the summer. Now this is coming back. I feel this is when this path really began for me, around 2 years ago. This is when the Tantric being really presented itself to me. I was like, look, this is the integration you got to do. Otherwise, you know, forget about it. It's not just the crown and the heart. The root portal is now becoming this ultimate experience, and we still hold at the level of our bodies. So even if you are a being returning from, I don't know, celestial planes, you still come in the physical body. We all have ancestral lineages. We all have record memories through which we need to kind of, you know, break free and liberate ourselves. We're healing this at a collective story level as an archetype, right? So this was the Magdalene message. Was that the Magdalene journey, the Jeshua journey, the message was she's now ready to live through joy. She wants to experience the fullness of that union which was seeded at that time through the avatars of illumined union. And therefore it was like she is blossoming, and then therefore she's ready to receive her beloved who's waiting with arms wide open. It was something like that. I don't remember it because it was directly channeled, so the words are now not as fluid as they were then. But it was really that final opening so that all 3 portals, like the crown, the heart, and the root, are truly embraced. And if you want to do this really more, you know, we all are where we are, but if you want to engage with this more consciously, I have created these courses for that reason. And I do have this trinity of courses, which is the Tantric Life Force Mastery course, to get you started on that this is a path of Life Force Mastery. That's what the Illumined Union is. These 2 people don't just come together to have fun together, and that's it. Okay, so then the second one is the Galactic Dance for the Human, right? A cosmic dance for the galactic human. Why is this important? Because it helps to, the dance triggers certain points in the body that still carry these imprints of heaviness, of density, because this density needs to be unlocked and rewritten in order for this union to take place. Otherwise it's too much and it burns the body. So imagine 2 people engaging in such a strong tantric ritual. It just burns the body if they're not ready, if they don't have, you know, they haven't done this inner work. They haven't done the bodily work, okay, the expression. Sometimes that's why they say, well, they're running from each other, or, you know, this and that. It's a more complex situation here. It's not just mental. It's not just like mental fears. It's, you know, a lot of people have done that. It's this physical, you know, you can have all that you have, all the desire. Oh, I want to be with the beloved. I want to merge. I want this and that. But the body is this ultimate vessel that, you know, it's like the energy in the body does not lie. So your whole body needs to be ready to receive it like an open lotus. I'm not talking about this in the way that people might interpret, but those of you who feel with depth, you will know what I mean here. So the last course I created, which is the last mastery course, is the 12th initiatory level, is about this cosmic union and ascension, which talks exactly about that. It's this 88, and I think that's even the price of it. I was just strongly called to put it like that. It's how it is, because each initiation goes deeper. And what I was shown is that it's now so important to unlock the last vestiges of these densities or dense experiences in the body, traumas, pains, wounds people might still carry, so that the body becomes like this rubber band elastic. So the rubber is not even the right material to mention here. It's just like this pure water, like this, yeah, basically what I always talk about is liquid light. It's like transparent. Our bodies need to become really light for this experience. And imagine at that time when this was seeded, it was probably immensely difficult to do that because times were so dark. But also at the same time, what didn't happen or didn't occur at that age, they didn't have such a strong poisoning, which we're now experiencing on the planet. So this also keeps our bodies toxic. So with the proper foods and nutrition, you're keeping your body light, wholesome, organic, preferably vegan food. Because there's many people who say, I want this, but they're still eating dense foods. Well, sorry, you can't have that because your body is, it would overburn your body, which carries certain density and so much electricity, and the magnetic force, when they meet, they create like ripples and waves of energy. It's not good for the body. You would get amplified symptoms and your soul does not want that. So that's why the soul is guiding people first on these self-initiatory and healing journeys before they can take on that kind of mission assignment, you know, that union in full-blown scope. So people would say, oh, I can change my food vibrationally just by looking at it. Well, you can fool yourself however you want. You're still putting that thing in your body. So you have to consciously choose better for yourself. And then with whatever still comes, you know, we're still breathing the air, we're still drinking the water. It's not all pure at this time. But through this dance, that's the experience I'm being shown why dance is so important. Dance can eliminate any toxicity in the moment because it's so stretchy. It's just, it ages every limb in your body. You know, when I did lots of exercise in my life. I did running, hiking, all of these kind of sports, even cycling. I don't like cycling that much, but I did it sometimes. And in none of these exercises, the whole body is being stimulated, you know, with the biker like this, with the front part of your body or the upper part of your body. With the running, it's more about calves and the lower part and the legs. Hiking also, hiking is much better. It engages the whole body, but still, you know, when you dance, even your head, your toe, everything is moving when you're really dancing the right way. You know, when you're totally allowing your body to reverberate with energy. So dance can eliminate anything. And that's why at that time, when this started for me so intensely, I was guided to design that course to help you embrace this tantric dance, the sacred dance, just as well as, you know, the kind of dance when you do just like have fun, goofy dance, childlike, inner childlike dance. So it's so important. And because of its importance at that time, I really didn't put a high price on the galactic human embodiment dance. So if you want to continue this path and you feel you still have some energy stuck in your body, I really recommend this. At least get the dancing course because it's so good. Or if you really feel that's not for you, just every morning, you know, this is what I'm doing now. I have this condition that whatever kind of circumstance, every morning, or if I somehow, for some reason, don't do it in the morning, I can do it in the evening. Because, you know, we're all somehow busy with something during the day. If not else, we go out. Take 3 songs, like 3, again, Divine Trinity, at least 3 songs. For me, 3 really works magical, miracles. 3 songs and just dance away to these songs, like fully, you know, because if you dance 1 hour, you get really tired. But if you dance 3 songs that are like really resonating, the melody, the beat, the rhythm, something that just calls you to, you know, to expand that fire through the body. Dance like really, you know, dance yourself away, because sometimes we're kind of saving the energy because, oh, I have 1 hour to dance, you know, but really, really intensely. So when I do it, I'm like beat, like I'm running for 1 hour after just 3 songs because I dance so intensely with my whole body. So this is really important because it will help to unlock those last vestiges and this total preparation of becoming these open lotuses and activating the root portal, which I've been talking about in the upcoming Ascension update for July, because July is kind of like, I feel it as a starting point for these unions to start occurring. We've all talked about it like before and this, and yeah, many people felt this was it, but these were relationships that were coming in, were still preparatory relationships. And our minds are always so excited when these things happen. Oh, this must be it. Oh, this must be it. And we kind of create this expectancy, and then we label things instead of just letting it be what it is. But inside our body, when this inner integration is really complete, we will know it. Everything in the spirit guidance will kind of like rah, you know, it's like really call it out that this is now, it's done. But I'm feeling it. We have to keep this vibration high so that physically these events, as they're supposed to occur for all of us, you know, these curved lines coming together in the way they're supposed to in a spiraling formation, because it is all a spiral. Because when we dance, we engage fully with our light DNA, and our light DNA, through that magnetic connection and resonance, attracts and pulls this divine counterpart, and they're pulling each other. So it's very important, and this is what I'm going to talk more about in the Ascension update, about the magnetization of life force and how you can do this. A lot of people think, I'm this advanced being, I don't have to do anything, I'm just waiting. That doesn't work either. Because we all believe, well, you know, we're just here, everything's happening. It's about action and approach through action, not being passive, but not the kind of action when we think, I need to go somewhere, find a person, do this in order to, you know, otherwise nothing will happen to me. That also is not the action I'm talking about. I'm talking about the embodied action, what we can do physically with ourselves so that we can become an expression of this full embodiment, so that we create this state of preparation. So again, let me recap on the important things here. You can go watch that video from 2 years ago about beloved yoga. I have a Tantrica playlist here on YouTube. You can see the messages about this I've already talked about. I've made a video about avatars of illumined union, and all my divine reunion video playlist as well holds all these videos, but more like the ones towards the end, because in the beginning stages of my YouTube journey, I was talking about a very general way, you know, this moving from the twin flame story to the real embodiment of union. That was kind of like a fine line in all these videos, the connecting dot. Yeah, so that, the triad of my courses, if you want to be one of those who goes deeper, who wants to actively prepare for this, to experience this union. What else? Oh, I have, I think, only 2 more left. I think I made 5, these beloved necklaces, and these are divine union encoded, because I made them at the time when this was really coming through. So check that out on my Serapina Light webpage if you're interested. They're like a sacred anointment jewelry. It's not the real jewelry, but in a way you can call it like that. That brings in this frequency, and it's anointed with that, with illumined union. So that's also there. And I think that's it. And if you want to go also deeper in a different way, which is that full integration process, there is a Cosmic Beloved course, again, on how to come into this divine union through every relationship you've ever had, every experience. Because a lot of people think that this path of divine lovers means you've had 0 relationships, you were just waiting for the one, the only one for you. It's not really like that. Because we had to literally in our body go through certain experiences that unlock these memory banks, that aligns us with these archetypes. And as you know, some people even call some of these archetypes, I've heard it before, what's it called? The sacred prostitute. And some people do not understand this, but this is this complete liberation of the sexual creative force in our bodies. And a lot of women, because of what was happening through eons of human history, were very suppressed in their sexuality, and it's still happening in our society and in humanity in general. So this, when we have these relationships, sometimes we judge, oh, what's coming out when I'm with this person? Oh, what's coming out when I'm with that person? These are aspects that we need to embrace, fully love unconditionally, to integrate them back into the whole, because a lot of them created these fragments. So this is all a part of this journey, and the most of it, of course, happens in the body, because the body is the animated vehicle for life force expression. And as Magdalene shared, her spirit, the spirit, which is the Holy Spirit, moving through an expression of the divine feminine, and with the divine masculine, it's a different expression, but it all flows through this Holy Spirit union. And that's the reason why I was sharing it in a different way and facet, like the majority of the people now online do, because that's just my path. You know, I continued the work, I continued the missionary of these avatars. So in any way, I hope this resonated with you, and I really wish this summer to be a summer of divine love, for us to not find a way, but create a way towards making that union truly blissful, and to understand that it's truly all happening the way it has to. and that the deeper we go in our inner embodiment process, that we consciously take each step, how we are guided, we understand we're creating it that way, not like seeking it or searching something outside of you. Then that's, you know, then it can't happen. Imagine every time you do something consciously, it activates the light DNA, it sends out these ripples out, and it's creating this magnetization that, you know, attracts this electricity of the counterpart that's meant to be in coupledom, that's meant to be an expression of divine union in this lifetime, what you've chosen, what it's chosen on the soul level. So thank you for watching. All these things are down below, all the links. Also important for this is because this is a path of orgasmic bliss. I also talk about this in the Cosmic Union Ascension, the Tantrika and the Sacred Orgasm mini audiobook. That's also very important. A part of this is all kind of like with this theme. So just go to the links down below if you're interested. These were all created with love of union, love of divine service. And I wish you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.